There's something you need to understand right now, in this very moment. You are not alone in this universe. You never have been, and you never will be. There's a force, an intelligence, a source of infinite abundance that's been with you since before you took your first breath, and it will remain with you long after your last. This isn't about religion or doctrine or sitting in uncomfortable pews. This is about truth. This is about the fundamental reality of how life works. You've been taught to worry, haven't you? You've been conditioned to believe that life is hard, that you have to struggle, that scarcity is the natural state of things. You wake up in the morning and the first thing that hits you is anxiety about money, about your job, about whether you'll have enough money, enough time, enough love, enough success. But what if I told you that this entire way of thinking is backwards? What if the very worry itself is what's blocking the flow of abundance that's trying to reach you right now? Think about a bird for a moment. A simple bird sitting on a branch outside your window. That bird doesn't have a bank account. It doesn't have a retirement plan or a savings account or a credit score. That bird doesn't lie awake at night wondering where its next meal will come from. And yet every single day that bird finds food. Every single day that bird survives. Every single day nature provides exactly what that bird needs. Now, are you less important than a bird? Are you less deserving of care than a sparrow or a robin? The universe that created you, this magnificent intelligence that thought you into existence, this source that gave you eyes to see and ears to hear, and a heart that beats without you having to think about it, do you really believe it would abandon you now? Do you really think that the same force that orchestrates the turning of planets and the blooming of flowers and the cycles of seasons would suddenly forget about you when it comes to your rent payment or your grocery bill? You are a piece of God. You are a divine creation. The same intelligence that flows through everything flows through you. And this intelligence doesn't know lack. It doesn't understand scarcity. Those are human concepts, human inventions born out of fear and separation. The source knows only abundance, only infinite supply, only endless provision. But here's where most people get stuck. They say they believe this, they say they trust, but then they spend every waking moment worrying. They pray for help and then immediately start planning for disaster. They ask for provision and then complain about what they don't have. This is like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to check if it's growing. The doubt, the worry, the constant mental obsession with lack is what prevents the good from flowing to you. You have to understand something crucial. Your thoughts are creative. Your mind is not just a passive observer of reality. Your mind is actively creating your reality moment by moment. When you think thoughts of lack, when you focus on what you don't have, when you tell yourself stories about struggle and hardship, you are literally instructing the universe to bring you more lack, more absence, more struggle. The universe doesn't judge your thoughts as good or bad. It simply responds to them. It simply says, your wish is my command. So when you wake up in the morning and your first thought is, how am I going to pay this bill? You've just placed an order with the universe for more situations that make you ask that question. When you look at your bank account and say, there's never enough, you've just requested more experiences of not enough. This isn't punishment. This isn't God being cruel. This is simply the law of cause and effect playing out in your life. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but I have real problems. I have actual bills. I have genuine responsibilities. I can't just pretend everything is fine when it's not. And you're right. I'm not suggesting you ignore reality. I'm not suggesting you become delusional or irresponsible. What I'm suggesting is that you change your relationship with reality. What I'm suggesting is that you stop seeing your current circumstances as permanent and start seeing them as temporary and changeable. Every single thing that exists in your life right now first existed as a thought. Your house, your car, your relationships, your job, all of it started in the invisible world of thought before it became visible in your physical reality. And if your current reality was created by your past thinking, then your future reality will be created by your present thinking. This means you have incredible power right now, in this moment, to change everything. But you have to stop the worry. You have to stop the anxiety. You have to stop the constant mental rehearsal of worst-case scenarios. Every time you catch yourself worrying about money, stop. Every time you feel fear about the future, stop. And in that moment, make a different choice. Choose to remember that you are supported. Choose to trust that provision is on its way. Choose to know, not just believe, but truly know that the universe has your back. This isn't about being naive or passive. This is about being aligned with the way things actually work. When you align yourself with the energy of trust and faith and abundance, you open yourself up to receive. You become a magnet for opportunity. You start noticing possibilities that were always there but that you couldn't see before because you were blinded by fear. Let me tell you something about faith. Real faith isn't hoping things will work out. Real faith is knowing they will. It's the absolute certainty that you are taken care of, that you are guided, that you are provided for. And this kind of faith doesn't come from trying to convince yourself of something you don't believe. It comes from connecting with the truth of who you really are. You are not your body. You are not your job title. You are not your bank balance. You are infinite consciousness temporarily housed in a physical form. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And the spiritual part of you, your true essence, is eternally connected to the source of all creation. This connection can never be broken. It's not something you have to earn or deserve. It's your birthright simply because you exist. When you really get this, when you really understand this at a level beyond intellectual knowledge, everything changes. You stop feeling separate and alone. You stop feeling like you're fighting against the world. You start to feel held, supported, guided. You start to trust the process of life instead of resisting it. Now, trust doesn't mean sitting on your couch waiting for money to fall from the sky. Trust means taking inspired action. It means doing what you're called to do without being attached to specific outcomes. It means showing up fully in your life while knowing that the universe is orchestrating everything for your highest good. Here's what happens when you truly trust. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. People show up to help you at exactly the right time. Solutions present themselves to problems you didn't even know how to solve. Money comes from unexpected sources. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. This isn't magic. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the natural result of aligning yourself with the flow of abundance that's always moving through the universe. But you have to get yourself out of the way. You have to stop trying to control every detail. You have to stop insisting that things happen your way and in your timing. The universe has a much bigger perspective than you do. It can see connections and possibilities that are completely invisible to you. When you try to force things to happen through sheer willpower and effort, you often block the very help that's trying to reach you. This is what surrender means. Not giving up, but giving over. Not becoming passive, but becoming receptive. It means doing your part and trusting that the universe will do its part. It means planting seeds and watering them, and then trusting the soil and the sun and the rain to do what they do naturally. Think about your body for a moment. You don't have to think about making your heart beat. You don't have to remember to digest your food. You don't have to consciously direct your immune system to fight off infections. Your body knows what to do. It has an intelligence built into it, and your life is the same way. There's an intelligence guiding your life, orchestrating events, bringing people and circumstances together in ways you could never plan or predict. But when you're stuck in worry and fear, you disconnect from this intelligence. You start trying to do everything yourself. You start believing that it's all up to you, that if you don't figure it out, nobody will, that you're all alone in this struggle, and this belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you believe you're alone, the more alone you feel. The more you believe you have to do it all yourself, the heavier the burden becomes. What if you just stopped? What if, just for today, you decided to trust completely? What if you woke up tomorrow morning and instead of immediately going into worry mode, you said, "Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for providing for me. Thank you for guiding me to everything I need." What if you spent your day looking for evidence of support instead of looking for evidence of lack? Because here's the thing. Whatever you look for, you will find. If you look for problems, you'll see problems everywhere. If you look for lack, you'll see lack in every situation. But if you look for blessings, if you look for abundance, if you look for evidence that you're supported and cared for, you'll start seeing it everywhere. You'll notice the friend who calls at exactly the right time. You'll notice the unexpected check in the mail. You'll notice the idea that pops into your head that leads to a new opportunity. This isn't about denying problems. This is about changing your focus. Yes, challenges exist. Yes, difficulties arise. But when you're focused on trust and faith, you approach these challenges from a completely different energy. Instead of panic and desperation, you feel calm and certain. Instead of feeling victimized by circumstances, you feel curious about how this situation will resolve. Instead of feeling alone, you feel supported. And this shift in energy changes everything. When you're calm and centered, you make better decisions. When you trust instead of panic, you see solutions you would have missed. When you feel supported instead of alone, you're more likely to reach out for help and to recognize help when it comes. Let me tell you something about asking for help. The universe wants to help you. God wants to provide for you, but you have to be willing to receive. And many people block their own receiving through pride or shame or the belief that they should be able to do everything themselves. They pray for help, but then refuse to accept it when it comes because it doesn't look the way they expected or because they feel they don't deserve it. If you ask for help, be willing to receive it in whatever form it comes. Maybe it's a friend offering you a place to stay. Maybe it's a stranger giving you advice. Maybe it's a book that falls off a shelf with exactly the information you need. Maybe it's a thought that comes to you in the shower. The universe has infinite ways of providing for you, but you have to be open to seeing and receiving the help when it arrives. And here's something else that's really important. You have to stop comparing yourself to other people. You have to stop looking at what they have and feeling like you're being left out. The universe is not a finite pie where if someone else gets a big slice, there's less for you. The universe is infinite. There's more than enough for everyone. Someone else's success doesn't diminish your opportunities. Someone else's abundance doesn't mean there's less abundance available for you. In fact, when you see someone else thriving, it should encourage you. It should remind you that abundance is real, that provision is possible, that dreams do come true. Instead of feeling jealous or resentful, feel happy for them and know that if it's possible for them, it's possible for you too. Use their success as evidence that the universe provides and know that your provision is on its way. But you have to be patient. This is where many people give up. They try trusting for a week or a month, and when things don't immediately change, they go right back to worry and doubt. Trust isn't a temporary strategy. Trust is a way of life. It's a fundamental shift in how you see yourself in the world. And like any real change, it takes time to fully integrate. There will be days when trust feels easy and natural, and there will be days when fear creeps back in and you find yourself worrying again. That's okay. That's part of being human. The key is not to beat yourself up when you fall back into old patterns. The key is to notice it, to acknowledge it, and to gently redirect your thoughts back to trust. Every moment is a new opportunity to choose faith over fear. You don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to be willing. You just have to keep choosing moment by moment to align yourself with trust instead of worry, with abundance instead of lack, with faith instead of doubt. And as you do this, as you practice this consistently, something amazing happens. You start to see evidence everywhere that you are indeed provided for. You start to notice synchronicities and coincidences that are too perfect to be random. You start to feel a sense of peace and security that doesn't depend on your external circumstances. You start to know, really know in your bones that you are taken care of. This knowing is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Because when you know you're provided for, when you truly trust that you're supported, you stop living from a place of fear and you start living from a place of love. You stop making decisions based on what you're afraid of losing, and you start making decisions based on what lights you up and excites you. You stop settling for less than you deserve because you're afraid nothing better will come along. You start saying yes to opportunities that align with your truth and no to situations that don't serve you. This is what it means to live in faith. This is what it means to trust that God or the universe or whatever you want to call this infinite intelligence will provide for you. It's not about being reckless or irresponsible. It's about being so secure in your connection to Source that you can take risks, that you can follow your heart, that you can live authentically instead of playing it safe out of fear. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you trust, the more you have to trust in. The more you relax into the flow of provision, the more provision flows to you. The more you let go of control, the more everything falls into place. It's like learning to float in water. When you tense up and fight, you sink. But when you relax and trust the water to hold you, you float effortlessly. Life is trying to hold you. The universe is trying to support you. But you have to relax. You have to let go. You have to trust that you won't be dropped, that you won't be abandoned, that you won't be left without what you need. Now, some of you might be thinking about past disappointments. You might be remembering times when you trusted and things didn't work out the way you wanted. You might be holding on to hurt or betrayal or situations where you felt let down. And I want to acknowledge that. Your feelings are valid. Your experiences are real. But I also want to suggest that maybe those situations weren't failures of trust. Maybe they were redirections. Maybe they were protection. Maybe the universe was actually guiding you away from something that wasn't right for you and towards something better, even if you couldn't see it at the time. Sometimes what looks like a closed door is actually divine protection. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually redirection towards something more aligned with your highest good. Sometimes the worst thing that ever happened to you turns out to be the best thing that ever happened to you because it forced you to change direction, to grow, to become who you needed to be. This is where faith really comes in. Because faith means trusting even when you can't see the full picture. Faith means believing that everything is working out for your good even when it doesn't feel that way. Faith means knowing that you're being guided even when the path seems unclear. And the more you practice this kind of faith, the more evidence you'll see that it's true. You'll look back on your life and you'll see how things that seemed terrible at the time actually set you up for blessings you couldn't have imagined. You'll see how doors that closed led you to better doors that opened. You'll see how you've always been taken care of, even in the moments when you felt most alone. This perspective shift is everything. When you can see your life as a series of guided events, all conspiring for your growth and good, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop feeling like life is happening to you, and you start seeing that life is happening for you. Every experience, every challenge, every setback is actually an opportunity for growth, for learning, for becoming more of who you truly are. And when you're growing and evolving and becoming more authentically yourself, you naturally align with greater abundance. Because abundance isn't just about money, it's about living a rich life. It's about having meaningful relationships and fulfilling work and a sense of purpose. It's about feeling joy and peace and contentment regardless of your external circumstances. This is true wealth, and this is what the universe wants to give you. Not just financial provision, though that's certainly included, but a life of meaning and purpose and joy. A life where you feel connected and loved and supported. A life where you're expressing your unique gifts and making a difference in the world in your own special way. But you can't receive this kind of life if you're stuck in survival mode. You can't experience true abundance if you're constantly worried about scarcity. You can't feel the support that's always there if you're closed off by fear and doubt. You have to open yourself up. You have to become receptive. You have to create space for the good to flow in. And you create this space through gratitude, through appreciation for what you already have, through focusing on the blessings in your life instead of the problems. When you wake up in the morning and you immediately start listing things you're grateful for, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. When you go through your day looking for things to appreciate, you train your mind to see the good that's already present. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. This is about acknowledging the perfection within the imperfection. Yes, you might have challenges. Yes, you might have problems. But you also have so much to be grateful for. You woke up this morning, you can read these words. You have awareness and consciousness and the ability to think and feel and choose. These are miracles that we take for granted every single day. When you start to really appreciate the miracle of your existence, when you start to feel genuine gratitude for the gift of life itself, something shifts inside you. You start to feel wealthy even before your circumstances change. You start to feel abundant because you recognize the abundance that's already present. And this feeling of abundance attracts more abundance. It's a law as reliable as gravity. So make gratitude a practice. Make it a daily discipline. Not because you're trying to manipulate the universe into giving you more, but because gratitude opens your eyes to see what's already here. It shifts your perception from lack to plenty. It reminds you that you are blessed, that you are supported, that you are provided for. And from this place of gratitude and recognition of current abundance, you can ask for more. You can set intentions for what you want to create in your life. You can have desires and dreams and goals. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. The universe is abundant and there's always more available. But you want to approach your desires from a place of already feeling whole and complete, not from a place of desperate neediness. When you want something because it would be fun or exciting or enjoyable, that's different from wanting something because you think you need it to be okay. When you desire from a place of fullness, you're much more likely to receive. When you desire from a place of emptiness, you tend to push things away with your desperate energy. So trust that you already have everything you truly need in this moment. Trust that you're provided for right now. And from that place of trust and security, allow yourself to want more. Allow yourself to have dreams and visions for your future. Allow yourself to ask for what you desire. But hold it lightly. Want it, but don't need it. Intend it, but don't attach to it. Trust that if it's meant for you, it will come. And if it doesn't come, something better will. This is the sweet spot This is where manifestation happens naturally and effortlessly. Not from striving and forcing and trying to make things happen through sheer willpower, but from allowing and receiving and trusting that the universe is working on your behalf. And it is working on your behalf. Every single moment of every single day, there are forces at work that you cannot see, orchestrating events and bringing people together and creating opportunities that will benefit you. Your job is not to figure out how it will all happen. Your job is not to control the process. Your job is simply to stay in alignment with trust and faith and to take whatever actions feel right in the moment. When you get an intuitive hit to call someone, call them. When you feel drawn to go somewhere, go there. When an idea pops into your head, act on it. These impulses are guidance. They're the universe speaking to you, directing you, showing you the way. But you have to be paying attention. You have to be present. You have to be listening. And you can't listen when your mind is full of worry and noise and fear. You can't hear the gentle whispers of intuition when you're caught up in mental chaos. This is why practices like meditation and silence and stillness are so valuable. They quiet the mind. They create space for you to hear the guidance that's always there. You don't have to meditate for hours. Even just a few minutes of quiet time each day can make a huge difference. Sit quietly, breathe, let your thoughts settle, and in that stillness, ask for guidance. Ask to be shown the way. Ask for help with whatever you're facing. And then listen. Not for a booming voice from the sky, but for a subtle knowing, a gentle feeling, a quiet sense of what to do next. This guidance is always available to you. You are never without help. You are never without support, but you have to tune in to receive it. You have to create space for it. You have to value it enough to take time out of your busy schedule to listen. And when you do, when you make this connection with your inner wisdom and with the universal intelligence that guides all things, you'll find that your life starts to flow. Decisions become easier. You feel more confident and certain. You stop second-guessing yourself all the time. You trust yourself because you know you're being guided. This self-trust is so important because ultimately, trusting that God will provide for you means trusting yourself. It means trusting that you have everything you need within you to handle whatever comes. It means trusting that you're capable and strong and resilient. It means trusting that even if you make mistakes, you'll learn from them and grow and ultimately be okay. You are so much more powerful than you realize. You have so much more capacity than you give yourself credit for. You've survived 100% of your worst days. You've made it through challenges you thought would break you. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still growing and learning and evolving. Give yourself credit for that. Acknowledge your strength. Recognize your resilience. And know that the same force that brought you through everything in your past will bring you through everything in your future. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And you will never be alone. There is an infinite intelligence that loves you, that supports you,